Do you guys know that around 250,000 people every year come to Canada? So what does that mean? They're gonna need a place to live, right? So they're gonna need a place to rent, or they're gonna buy a house at one point. So I'm gonna make this video really simple for beginners, how to buy a house in Canada into 6 simple steps. So let's get started. So step number 1, are you ready to be homeowner? I know when I say that, are you ready to be homeowner, I mean, are you financially stable? So to buy a new or used house, you have to have a little bit money sitting there. When I say a little bit money, so for a new house, when you go and look for the house, you like this house, you're gonna need an initial deposit there. It's usually $10,000 at the sign up, and for the next couple of months, it could up to $40,000. Depends on the builder. And when you go for the used house, you have to have a down payment ready within the next 2 to 3 months, which could be as minimum as 5%, and you can pay up to 20%. So that's what I mean. Are you ready to be homeowner? The second step is to get pre-approval. So when I said get pre-approval means before you actually start looking for a house. So at step 1, you said, you know what, I'm ready to own a house. It's in your mind. Now, before you actually start looking for the house, you want to get pre-approval, just because pre-approval will tell you how much actually you can afford according to your job. So I remember when I went through this process, they asked you for 2 years of T4, which is your income statement, and then the latest pay stub. They're gonna make sure that you're still working, and then according to your income, they're gonna tell you how much you can afford. Because you don't want to start looking for a house out of your price range and later run into trouble knowing that you cannot afford that house. So it's always a good idea to get pre-approval. Now, to get pre-approval, you can go to your local bank, or you can go to the mortgage broker, which have access to different lenders or banks. In this way, I had an idea what price range I was looking for, and then I can shortlist my choices that if I can afford a single house, which a bit expensive, or townhouses, or a condo, or apartment. So then you have a better picture what you can afford. Also, guys, keep in mind that pre-approval is not a guarantee that you're gonna get approved later. Just because right now you're getting pre-approved and everything is good, your job is good, and if you get a new house and the closing date is, let's say the house is gonna be ready in 2 years, within that pre-approval, once you get pre-approved till the closing date, there's a gap of 2 years. Who knows to the job, right? So what if something happens to the job? So it's not a guarantee, but it gives you a nice picture what you can look for. Now we're gonna go to the step number 3, which is looking for the right house. So in this process, you can go to the realtor, which is also a real estate agent. You can find them on realtor.ca, and you can Google them. So when you use a realtor to buy a house, you do not pay any commission. It's because realtor get commission through the seller side. Right now you're buying it, so you don't have to worry about it. So why don't use this expertise, to look for the right house? So once you go to the realtor, you tell them, oh, you know what, I'm looking for this single or townhouse, 3 bedroom, 2 washrooms, basement, how many parking garage, and then realtor usually put them in the system, and then you start getting emails about all the choices that you made, and then every day whatever is on the listing, which I mean whatever people are selling in the market, realtor get that information, and then it gets it through you. So once you start getting emails, you can look for the house. You're gonna say, you know what, I really like this house. So you call your realtor and you go to the house, look at it, and if you like it, great. If no, you can keep doing this process till you find your right house. So once you made your mind you want to buy a house, you get pre-approved, things looks good, you went to the realtor, you get your house specifications, what you're looking for, you like the house. Now we go to the step number 4, which is making an offer. You really like this place, things looks good, then your realtor sends a paperwork to the seller saying, I'm gonna buy this house if conditions met, like if you pass the home inspection and you get the mortgage from the bank. So in that time, you send a home inspector, see the house, everything looks good. Usually it's within a week and everything looks good, home inspection passed, and you like this place, and you go to your bank and you show your paperwork, same thing, your job, your employment history, your latest pay stubs, and you get the mortgage approved. Perfect. Now you can send that, okay, things looks good, I'm gonna accept this deal. Now if you're buying a new house, usually you don't need inspection. They do the pre-inspection before they give you keys. And for new home, usually everything is pretty good. In my opinion, new home, I wouldn't go to inspection, but you know, just for peace of mind, if some people, you know, want to make sure builder did everything good, they can go for inspection. Which brings up to step number 5, closing the deal. At this point of time, before bank actually give you money, they send the appraisal, which I mean that because bank is giving you this big loan, they're gonna send a person to see if the actual house is really worth what you're asking for. If you're asking for $500,000 loan, they're gonna see if it's actually worth $500,000. Usually it's $500, and the buyers usually pay that fees. It happens after home inspection is done. And then which brings up to the last step, which is the closing day. So usually on this day, lawyer is there to do all the legal paperwork, and you bring your money to the lawyer, lender, which is bank or whatever lender you choose, bring the money to the lawyer take the money and sign the paperwork, change the name to your house, to your name, and then give that money to the seller, and you get the keys. When you get a new house, usually the process is you go to the sales center, the builder sales center with a realtor, and you like the house, you put an initial deposit of whatever, $5,000, $10,000, and you have to put another $20,000 to $30,000 deposit for the next couple of months till the closing date. So once that is done and the closing date is set for the next year or 2 years, you are good till that time. You don't have to put any money till that time. And then you kind of do the same process of when it comes closer to the closing date of getting your mortgage done, getting lawyer, and getting everything ready for the closing date and get your keys there. So the lawyer fees can up to $1,000 to $2,000, depends what kind of house it is, depends on the area as well. And also there's another tip. On closing, be ready to have at least 3 to 5% of your home price ready, because there's many costs related to closing. It could be, depends, it could be your which area you live. If it's lots of land transfer, you gotta have to pay a little bit of that too. And then you know, lawyer fees, you know, moving in fees, all those depends if you have appliances included, so you gotta buy those appliances as well. So it's good to have a little bit money on the side, because I've seen people getting surprised at the closing day, you know, and sometimes they could get into trouble. So guys, please like, hit and subscribe on this channel for upcoming videos, and see you next time.